Gotta get something to drink and shit.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello there. How are
Is this
you?
good? Is this Melissa and William?
Yes, William will be right here in a minute. He's just grabbing some water.
That's great. We got to have our water because we're going to have a great conversation today. Oh, yes, we are.
Hell yeah.
All right. So we're going to have a good time. While William's doing that, why don't I open up the show and I will get with you too. Okay. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All right. Everybody, welcome back to No Cover TV Podcast. That's right. I'm your host, Big Al. And that's right. I take that original, local, and national music scene and I just shove in your face. I kind of slap you around with a little bit. Been doing it since 1997, from TV for 15 years to DJing. So doing everything from booking and all that. I shove that music in your face. Now I do it on a podcast. And what's special about this podcast? This is the 1 year date right here. We've done 120 shows in 1 year. That's not enough. I've got to double that up. We have to double it up. There is so much great music around the world of all genres and of all age groups. It is just fabulous what's out there. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. And we are touching each and every one of you around the world. We are in all the major countries, and I appreciate everybody listening. You want to get a hold of me? Get hold of me at the new website, nocovertv.live, nocovertv.live. Go there, check that out. I'll explain a little bit about the show, what I'm about, what I do. You can leave a message there. I will get right back to you. You can do the Facebook thing, No Cover TV on Facebook, or you can email me at nocovertv@yahoo.com. And if you do the Instagram, boy, what's that? No Cover TV 1. So there's a lot of platforms that you're going to find me or I'm going to find you. We're going to get your story out there and we're going to get your music out there because that's what matters. That's what's matter. Before I get to our artists, and I can't wait for this show. We've got a great show for you today. I want to thank Rip Music out of Grand Rapids and Holland, Michigan. They are a great music store, been around for a long time. That's where we got our first drum set in '85 out of the basement of their house. And now they are a store. You go to the store, you buy a No Cover TV guitar pick for 50 cents. That's your 10% off coupon forever for accessories. Now, you might be able to sweet talk them for some gear, but you don't have to sweet talk them. But anyways, go there and get some great stuff. So I'm wasting my breath here. I got to get to this band, the show today. The band in the house, Sepsiss is in the house with Melissa and William. How are you doing today?
Hey, what's up? That was a crazy intro, man.
I loved it.
If I can have you two speak up a little louder or closer to the mic, I'd appreciate it much.
All right, we'll try and get nice and close here.
Is this a little bit better?
Yeah, it's better. Yes, that's better. I've been looking forward to this show. Oh, my. We have quite a bit to talk about, you two. Yes, we do. Now, I usually have my general questions for my artist, and your paper is all over the board. I've been watching you. I watch your little podcast. I checking you out. I spy on you. But before I get to the good stuff, I want to introduce you to the podcast family out there. This is Sepsiss here. This band here is one strong, heavy metal, kick-ass band with one beautiful feature, a powerhouse female front singer that kicks butt. I'm telling you. Am I right or am I not right?
Thank you so much. You're so kind.
Oh, man, you are tearing it up. And I love my powerhouse singers. I work with quite a few of them. And you women, you scare the hell out of me sometimes. Unbelievable.
Oh,
Wow.
Me too. I'm always surprised.
Right. I hear you. So you guys have got so much going on with what you're doing and your approach to the business, which I want to get into because it's something that I took the approach back in '97, and you're doing it now, and with a different platforms and things like that. But now I don't know if you've listened to the podcast at all. I'm going to pick on you two for a little bit. Can I do that?
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I want to get in your minds just a little bit. There's the two of you, not the whole band, because you are a 5-piece band, right?
Yep.
You're a 5-piece band. Okay. So I'm going to take both of you on a time capsule. Okay. So we're going to get that time capsule. Now, you're not as old as I am. So we're going to go, I'm going to take you back to 10 years old, both of you. Okay. Melissa, you first. What were you listening to music-wise?
Right now, I've been listening
10 years
to.
old.
Huh?
10 years old.
10
At
years.
10 years old.
Yeah,
Oh,
10 years.
when I was
he
10?
said going to a time capsule.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You weren't.
Geez. Well, at 10, I
10
was
years.
probably listening to a lot of NSYNC, Backstreet Boys,
Oh my
Britney
God.
Spears, that kind of stuff. I was really into pop.
Oh.
Michael Jackson.
He said, "Oh, like he stubbed his toe, like he stubbed his toe."
Oh my God. Where's my ball?
Evanescence has always been a big thing for me.
Okay, I'll let you go on that one. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's flip it over to you, William. What are you listening to at 10?
At 10, I was listening to like wow, for me it was crazy. EPMD, Public Enemy.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, Biohazard, Anthrax,
Oh.
Run DMC. I was yeah. So I'm a little older than the rest of the guys in the band. So I grew up in with hip hop music, and I was a DJ. So I would get all the records. I was big into getting into my parents' records and my uncles and aunts' records, and getting all kind of trouble with that. So
Well, that's cool. Now I'm gonna jump back to you, Melissa. Okay. Now, at what age did you start singing, using your vocals, or did you join a choir, a school, church, anything?
I actually didn't have any sort of vocal training or join any classes in like school or anything. I started singing in my late teens.
Late teens, okay.
Yeah,
Now,
so
was
my
that
father is a guitar player. When I was just a child, I used to watch him play in his rock band. And, as I got older, that eventually made me want to kind of start my own project.
all right?
So once I started my project, which is Sepsiss, that was really like my first real band.
Okay.
So, and I'm still in it.
It's still, it's still. Now, Sepsiss, you started in about what, 2010?
Yes.
2010, been around quite a while. Yeah, doing great. Now, William, back to you. We're young. What instrument did you pick up first, and what did you start playing first?
So I mean, I was like a wild animal. But I will say that Melissa was kind of wild animal too. She left out a part. I wish her mother was with us, because her mother never leaves out the part. Melissa was always in a band. I want to say this for the record.
I did say Sepsiss was my first official band.
But growing up, if you ask her mom will sit there and tell everybody. We'll be in the middle of a venue and she'll tell the story differently. Melissa was always a vocalist. And she had the band in the house. And if you ask her parents, you ask her mom, she was extremely vocal. They couldn't get her to stop singing and dancing. And
I used to love to sing Disney. Disney was a big thing for me. So like I would run around as a child.
I think you thought you were in the band already.
You were already in
I
the
loved
band.
like the Lion King and the Little Mermaid and stuff. That was my thing.
I was a very hyperactive kid, and I was adopted. I came from foster homes as a baby. I didn't come with much. I had one stuffed animal in a blanket. So I didn't come with a box of toys. I didn't come with a bunch of loving parents and people adoring me. But what I did when I did find strange is my parents knew right off the bat that I wouldn't play with regular toys. Like they bought me robots and toys, other stuff that boys would play with. But I would wind up dissecting it or taking it apart or not really understanding or appreciating it until my mother bought me it was a keyboard called a Rapman keyboard, and it was like this.
Rat man.
Yeah, you
Cool.
can look it up on Google. It's
It
like
I
sounds
will.
it was. Yeah, there was another knockoff version called the Rap Master.
Rat
Um,
master.
and it was this plastic toy keyboard piano. It was like a little Casio piano, but it had a plastic, fake scratching record DJ
Oh yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing built into it, and it had like sample pads in it. And it was my first toy that wasn't a stuffed animal that I used it until it fell apart. So I mean, like I
Oh,
said, I was a wild animal. My older brother was a comedian and a drummer. We had basses and guitars and stuff around the
oh,
family. And I wanted to play everything. And as a result, I wound up being a hip hop DJ as a teenager for years. I did
cool.
competition DJing. I DJ'd with adults. It was, battle, competition, breakbeat stuff, early urban. And then
Yeah,
I got into competitive battle rapping and aggressive rap music until I found rock and roll.
that's pretty tight, brother. That is
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
that's what
That
happened.
is. So when did you pick that guitar up and start shredding on that thing?
It's funny. I got to a point, intellectually with rap music. I knew I was missing something, and I didn't know what it was at the time. But it was
Hmm.
formal. It was formal training, a comprehensive understanding, a cohesive. I wanted more from music rather than
Yeah.
just pushing buttons and moving faders and turning knobs. I felt like I was missing something. I felt like there was a deeper um, realm and layer of expression. And
Yes.
I also, at the time, I had some nice keyboards. I was a songwriter. I was growing up. I started to get into expression, and I didn't understand scales and compositions and arrangements. I grew up as a
Mm,
rapper and kind of, what we would call today like paste copying and pasting parts and
right.
manipulating
Totally.
parts.
Yes.
When
Totally different.
yeah, and I at the time I was one of the only DJs in town that didn't just sample records. I liked to play on the keyboards and do my own drum samples and patterns because whatever was on the records, it wasn't expressing what I really wanted. So I said, man, I got to learn how to play this stuff. And like I said, we always had like kind of ratty old guitars laying around. But my first intention was I noticed I couldn't put $1,000 keyboard in the car.
Right.
We were
Right.
14, 15 years old. You couldn't unless you had expensive cases, and you couldn't plug it into a tree or your lawn. So I had the wild idea that I was gonna my first initial idea was, you know what, I'm gonna play the guitar. And I'm gonna just play. I'm gonna learn how to play some country chords. I'm gonna learn how to just compose and express like draft ideas and like scratch pad ideas, melodic ideas, and then I'm going to translate them to my hip hop and rap music later on. And as a teenager, I kept having guys come up to me. These old rock and roll guys come up to me every now and then, kicking me in the ass and going, "What do you think you're doing?" And I said, "I'm playing the guitar." And they go, "Well, don't tell anybody." And I say, "Why? Why is that?" And they say, "Because you're onto something." And
There
I'd be
you
like,
go.
huh? I'd be like, what are you talking about? And they go, you don't know this, but the way you're playing that like a natural. I haven't heard
Yeah.
anybody play like that before. And I thought they were putting the battery in my back. For the longest
Ah.
time, I thought they were just, they were my friends. They were
being
older.
nice.
I thought they were being polite to me. Like I said, I was used to people saying nice things to me
Yeah.
musically. I wasn't
Right.
terrible, but not, I also wasn't very good. And I knew that. I knew I wasn't good, and they knew that
Right.
too. But what they were seeing was potential,
Oh
um,
yes.
and I followed that. It lit a match in me, and there was something that I could do with the guitar that I couldn't do with a piano or a drum machine. I could bend it, I could scrape it, I could twist it. I could.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think I became part of it. A drum kit, you have to sit at it. It
Yep.
commands you to be there, and you. But
Yep.
with the guitar, there's this omnipresent relationship.
Relationship.
You can flick it, hit it, pluck it, rub it, turn. So and there's this intimacy of expression in terms of creativity. I'm a writer. And my ambition for writing has led me to becoming a guitar player. And I didn't, after that, man, it lit in me. And it's like fractal. I split off like a fork in the road. There's part of
Oh,
me that is a brand new writer. And then the other part is this scientific, frequency based guitar psychopath. And I
ah,
embrace both parts.
wow. Wow, it's amazing when I'm a guitar player too, and when you can pick up the guitar and you can put it against your chest and you feel every tone, every note, every twist,
Yes.
every you make it talk to you, it sings to you.
Yes. And it
It's
really
beautiful.
became a phrasing tool for me. It really became a tool for me to instantly, there's no bad, I love it, there's no batteries, there's no Bluetooth, you don't download
No,
anything. I love the
it's
idea of
you.
just feeling an idea, getting an inspiration for some, and you know what, sometimes we don't keep it. Sometimes we just play, and we play because we love playing, and there's no bigger reward as a guitar player but to realize that the reward is playing the guitar, and like
That's
I'm there. I think when you're a kid, you want to be fast, or you want to be known, or you want to.
right, right. Oh yeah,
There's
you
this
want it to go quick.
certain awakening that comes in where you really realize the gift and you start to form your identity. And
Yes.
I make a lot of mistakes, brother. I make a ton of mistakes. I still
Well,
play silly stuff.
we're always learning in the musician business,
Yes.
music
Yes,
business.
there's no ceilings for me, and I'm my biggest competition, but that
Oh yeah.
allows me to be free.
Definitely. Now, I want to talk about all the five-piece band here. Now, I'm watching your videos. I'm listening to you. Very tight, very tight. I'm loving what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, and everything. And moving a little fast. I'm trying to figure out what everybody's playing here. It looks like we got what a five string bass player.
Yep. Yep.
No,
He can bounce
okay.
back and forth. He's pretty versatile, and he plays guitar too, I'd like to note.
All right, all right. You
Everybody
what?
in the band plays multiple instruments, which is nice.
It's true.
That's
I've seen
beautiful.
Sriracha bang on the drums.
Yeah, like everybody plays, and Melissa's not gonna admit it here, but she has worked with all type of different genres, and she knows her way around the studio.
Oh,
And
that's
of course, like being a front person, you have to being in a band. It's not just about having like great musician ability, but also like a great business mind, an original mind, and
yes,
a,
you
a
do.
risk taking responsibility
That you
assuming
do.
personality. Yeah, for real.
You do. So now, Sepsis started in 2010. Now, are this all the original members?
No,
No.
it's just myself and William,
Yeah.
founding
Oh,
Truth
members.
be told, we really haven't had any members ever. We've never had a full lineup last over 2 years.
Not
2 years.
yet.
Okay. Not yet. So
Yeah.
the lineup you got now, how's that going? It's looking pretty good.
This is looking like the lineup of our dreams
Yeah.
currently.
Nice.
This is the
Nice.
first this is the first time that we've had a lineup, with all due respect to everyone that's contributed to the project. This is the
Wow.
first this is the first time we've had a lineup that was as grateful as they are being here. And I don't mean saying it, I mean doing it,
Wow.
because love is generosity, and you can really see the difference in somebody's work ethic and what they do versus a
Okay.
contrast to what they say. And
Yeah.
this is the first group that I can say is mutually grateful.
Yeah.
And then also I want to say this is also the first complete group where everyone was already professional musicians starting the project. The
I can see
prior musicians of the band, we've had to train a lot of those musicians, and that's an entire different adventure.
that. Oh, yes, it is when you have to train the musicians. Well, they can step up to the plate and do it right off the bat. Oh, that is beautiful.
Oh
That
man,
is
It's
like
a very nice
these
band.
guys have the experience and the education.
beautiful.
And we shot an 8-part movie documentary called Road to the Swarm, where we cover our audition process, and we bring them in from day one, from the day that um, our last lineup dissolved. We started clean slate. We did it publicly in front of the world to show everybody our process. And in doing it, we came back and won the New England Music Awards.
Yeah,
So
boy,
this
well, I'm going to talk about that
third
in just a
time.
minute. Go ahead,
That's our
Melissa.
third award.
Now, Melissa, yeah, or William, who's holding the box of firecrackers that gives to Melissa? Because you are on fire. You're all over the place, woman. Wow, you're
Um,
incredible.
we had some help from Hans and his girlfriends
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
They were setting off the what are those smoke bombs?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Gotta have it. You gotta throw some flames in there and stuff.
A lot of like a lot of the visual aesthetics and choreography and just the energy behind the band is all Melissa's ideas. Really, like she kind of alley oops ideas to us from a visual side, and we trade ideas as far as like social media, and then
No.
I kind of organize it all, and then
Okay.
we deliver it to the team, and like together as a unit we're
Well,
able to kind of
bring it together, huh?
yeah.
That's what I was thinking. That William, you're laying down basically the tracks, and Melissa, you're bringing in the vocals and the power chords, aren't you?
Oh,
Correct.
right,
Correct.
exactly. Because the band like a lot of modern metal bands. You're starting to see it more now with bands like Sleep Token or Spirit Box sometimes, but
Yep.
a lot of the for the most part, up until recently, a lot of the metal bands, modern metal has been driven a lot by screaming and aggressive vocals and
Oh boy.
uh, where and that's fantastic. We love those bands,
Yep.
and they absolutely rip it. But we wanted to try something different with this project, and as you can see with this one, we want to try to do something that was equally and mutually heavy, but is melodically driven. So it's a different phasing, especially as a guitar guy, But
Yeah.
it's a different phasing, it's a different frequency. Melissa's voice is like it's floaty and it's on the topper. It's on the upper part of the frequency of the mix.
You're
So we
right.
can't do so we our guitars have to be tuned to, guitar.
Yep.
As a, we have to keep our guitars tuned on stage. A lot of the modern metal tones now are really low and aggressive, which is awesome if you got a couple of brutal screamers or people doing aggressive stuff. But like with
Right.
Melissa, we really had to go back to the drawing board, creating the
Oh.
band and tune the guitars around her and kind of just refit the sound to a fingerprint that made sense sonically and within the frequency of what we tried to do in order to have it
Mm.
continue to sound heavy and be
Yeah.
melodically driven is kind of tricky.
We are
Oh,
working on our second album right now called Take the World by Storm.
take the
Um,
world by storm. I love that name. Mm.
yeah, so like you mentioned, it's still melodic. Um, and it's going to sound like it's more like we stripped it down, right? So we didn't get too carried away with genres.
Right.
We finally got a chance to try some new techniques like felt notes,
Ah,
some
yeah.
chants, cheers, but nothing crazy.
So yeah,
Cool.
so a lot of our new music is what people can expect and already love from us. We don't have like a huge catalog where we feel like we need to run off and completely do something new. We're
Right.
kind of just trying to get better at what we already do.
Good deal. Good deal. So, do we have an ETA on this new one that might be out?
We
Not
did
yet.
not really because we released Bleed Lines last spring, but that was also after having to recover our full lineup. So it's kind of like the technology moving faster than the law.
Yeah, exactly.
Today technology moves so fast the copyrights can't keep up with it. So when the gadgets come out, we can't write any new laws for it. So the thing
Oh,
is like we were recovering from the lineup change, and it's really important for us. We're a performing band. It's
yeah,
really important for us to have the lineup that we're playing with to be able to perform the current fan favorites, the current
there.
music we're playing. So
Exactly.
for us to streamline and steamroll out new material, um, while still kind of working with a new lineup and being a work in progress, we don't want to really stockpile new music. And really, there's not a this is going to be sound harsh, but there's not a massive demand for us to put out an album at this time. You know,
All right.
we
There's
released the album in 2020. And we've released a single or two every single year since then. And we just released our newest single, Romance and Reality, that's off our second album coming up. Um,
Okay.
so we just released that last month, and it's doing really well. People really like it. Our fans seem to really like our music, but there's not a ton of demand. If you ask our fans, we're very close with them. If you
I
poll them or you ask them, "Are you guys ready for an album?" Far too often, I think today bands just release music because they can record it and stream it. It's not
Right. So
like it's not like before when you had to think about it overnight. You had to lick the stamp before you put it in the mailbox. You know what I
and,
mean? Now,
oh, yeah.
if you break up with your girl, you can send it instantly and you can't take it back. So
You know what?
before, you had to, your brain had to process as you were writing out the words. Your
Yeah.
brain had to process.
That's right. Oh
And
no.
the same thing with recording music.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Far too often because artists in the modern day have a laptop and they can crank out singles. No one's
Mhm.
thinking long enough about it. They're all finding a method or going on YouTube and looking at a template or looking at someone's
Too
successful
easy.
method. They're buying the method. They're hooking up with
Yeah.
other guys. They're paying for the privilege of learning the method, and then they're going
Yep.
copying the algorithm, or they're
Yes,
taking
indeed.
they're
They're
taking
not
the
doing the work.
stencil and they wash, rinse, and repeat, and they hope it works for them, and that's all well and good. But
Yeah.
far too often, I think that because of the luxury and convenience of technology today, that albums get cranked out from certain
Oh,
artists, and they release a single every month. And the issue with that, my friend, is some of your best material can get lost in the middle of the sandwich.
it gets
And
really lost.
if you don't got the budget, if you're a band at our size and you crank out some really good tunes, you might have five great new singles, but you can only justifiably really afford to promote one or two. Just like they
Right.
did back in the days, Van
Oh
Halen to
yeah.
release an album, they never afforded to
The whole.
advertise or promote six singles. You get
Right.
and unless the album was doing good, you might hear a B-side, you might see a third video. But
Yep.
in the 80s and 90s, people were discovering music not through radio anymore. It was through TV and MTV. And
Oh yeah.
as the gadgets change, so does our listening habits. So
Yes, and how we
bands
make it.
yeah, a band at our size, we're independent. You know, we're not doing terrible, so we can't afford to just put $100 on a great song. That's not going to cut it for us. If we do something, hopefully every artist, every song that they're recording, they're believing in wholeheartedly, right? But
Right.
where's the evidence when artists release a single every year and put no advertising money? There's no
Yeah,
touring, there's no advancing, there's no
there's nothing.
sponsorship, there's nothing. It's and man, I love it. It's emotional, and I don't believe that music is just an economy. I believe that the Aborigines and the Native Americans and the early people were dancing for the rain. I believe in all the hocus pocus. I believe in all the yoga. I believe in
Nice.
Confucius, and I believe in all of the mumbo jumbo. Believe me. But I also believe we got to pay the rent. We can't get an eviction notice on the door, and we need gas money to get there.
Yes, we
And
do. Yes, we
the
do.
thing is, I have to admit it all the time, and it's something that independent artists and small artists like me just don't want to admit publicly, and that's we are poor. And when I
But
say that is we can't get out of the driveway. We're too big for the backyard and much too small for the arena. And I have to admit it, as much as I love my fans, and we are one of the lucky ones. Please understand this. There is just not a demand for this music original music, risk-taking original music, with
Exactly.
outspoken independent artists like us. We're outspoken, we're independent, we stick up for ourselves, we got a big platform. Um,
Yes, you do.
and and we like to tell the truth. So
Right.
the thing is the industry rewards the biggest cheaters. Liars are buyers, brother.
That's
And
right.
the biggest companies and corporations are looking for people that are willing to cheat and pay their way, and we're not willing to do it. So
That's good for you guys.
I can't come out with 10 songs because I can't afford it.
Right,
So
right,
I wish I
right.
could give a date on this, but
Exactly.
just the same, that's not a disappointment, and that's not bad news. What that means is quality over quantity, because the only artists that are realistically releasing music obsessively, and they're releasing it nonstop, consistently, single after single, are independent artists that aren't paying to promote, that aren't
Right.
paying, they're not securing the networks, that are not going through the chain. Uh, and
Exactly.
everyone has a different threshold and definition of what success is. For us, it's not riches and fame, and we determined that long ago. So
Me too.
we want to keep making music that we're proud of and that we love playing. I know that was
Well,
so long, dude. I'm sorry,
oh,
but
it's beautiful.
that was it, though. I had to get that out.
Well, good, because I got some questions from Melissa too. But I want one of you or both of you to tell everybody in podcast land how do they get a hold of you? How do they find you? The music, the merch, where are you playing? How do they get a hold of you?
Well, honestly, the best place to find any of that stuff is directly on our website. You can go to sepsiss.com, which is spelled SEPSISS.com.
All
And
right.
you can find, our merch there. We have so much merch. We have like everything ranging from t-shirts to pillows and
Right, it's
socks.
like Big Lots. It's like Big
Pillow.
Lots, or like
And of course CDs. But yeah, you can find
That's great.
everything there. You can find our socials. We just made this new Yellow Jacket VIP program. You can find that on our website too.
Oh boy, I'd like to get one of those. Now, right here, right here, your fans. You got one hell of a following of fans. They love you. How
And
about
we
you?
love them.
They are all over the world, and they're digging what you're doing.
I
Oh,
we
good.
are always stunned. It is like the rush that we get each day from the people that we are able to just touch, and the people that we are able to communicate with. Being independent is a risk, because being as independent as we are, once you've really committed to your independence, it's difficult and challenging sometimes to take routes that lead to the industry. The route
Mm-hmm.
to independence is not the route to the industry.
No.
The route to the industry is not necessarily through independence. And
Oh,
don't get me wrong. You can make relationships and friendships, but if you make a lot of your stable and foundation in the industry, then when times get rough, you have to call on the industry. Whereas if
right.
you're independent, you can change a tire yourself.
Yes, exactly. All right. Now I got some questions for you here. Now, Melissa, I've been checking out your videos and what you have to say, and you've got quite a bit to speak about in the music industry. Both of you do, actually. And I love what I'm hearing because I'm seeing myself back in 97 when I used to stick my foot up everybody's ass in this town because they couldn't get their shit together. So that's when I stopped playing music in 97 and decided to go into media to help the musicians and the local and the national acts and get it right, get them paid right, and stupid door pay, all this other crap that happened. I try to eliminate and teach bars and owners of venues how to do it the right way. And I'm still doing it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But You stand up for yourselves. You stand up for the local bands, and it's amazing because more need to do that, and there's not enough doing it.
I completely agree.
Not enough doing it. You know, I live in a great town. I love Michigan. I love Grand Rapids. We have a lot of great bands and stuff. But I'll say about 80% of them, they don't push their music outside of Michigan. They don't collaborate. And that's a shame. Collaborate with everybody around the world because now you have the opportunity to do so. And you don't know what doors those are going to open up. So, what do you think about that? Getting your music out there around the world to other people and collaborating.
We definitely want to collaborate. We just put a post out about this recently.
Yeah, this is the year for it, if any time, more than
Yes,
ever.
We are trying to collaborate at this time. I think it would be important to do so.
It is important to collaborate. Definitely, you know, don't stick around. You know, you're popular in your town and your state and stuff, but get out and collaborate and you know, open up for other acts or play with them and stuff like that. Get your music out there because it's great stuff.
We have a saying here. We always are saying that sepsis is the people's metal. Because
I see that.
when we came up in metal, like you had to look a certain way, you had to be a certain color, your hair had to be shaved a certain way. And if you ever take a look at us, looking at us, we're very different than what some people might think the image of heavy metal should be.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
so but
understandable.
you're always hearing how inclusive rock and roll is, and you're hearing how support local, and that stuff sounds great in a Facebook post, you know. But one day we just sat here and said, well, what if we started doing that? Like we saw everybody saying it, and we said, what if we became the band that does stuff that other bands don't do?
There you go.
What if we just started looking around and doing our homework and saying, what is everybody pretending to do? And let's figure out what that is. Let's figure out what the best bands are doing, and let's try to do that 1% better. Let's try to add 5% more originality. Let's do
Yeah.
what other people refuse to do. Let's go the extra mile and add 1% to it. Because if you're doing 1% better than your predictable competitors, then you're winning. But then we thought another step ahead. We said, man, what's the one thing everyone's afraid of? Competition. So how do you become the most competitive band? Oh, you be generous.
That's right. Exactly. Keep a smile on your face and listen. And they're back.
We did it.
Yay.
A little technical difficulty. You got some snow over that way, don't you?
Yeah. Actually, it was supposed to get another storm.
No, we just got it.
Oh man. Yeah, there's so much snow right now.
Oh, today is the first day we just got snow in Michigan. It's never happened. First day. I want to get my snowblower out and have some fun.
Oh, you're about to.
We already got slammed.
Oh man, you're about to.
That's great. I'm going to put your music on. I'm going to town.
Let's go.
Woo! So now that we restarted, I get a little more time with you. So the machine isn't going to blow up, hopefully. So I got some basic questions. I want to have some fun with you, okay?
Yep.
All righty now. Now, you're playing out. You're playing quite a few venues in your area?
I mean, we have forever, but really, I mean, the live and touring world is changing. The entire industry is changing. And the bands that will do well are the ones that survive the change.
Yes.
And it's not a bad change, man. It's they're learning, really, they're relearning how to pay everybody. The currency is changing. The economy, the actual economy is changing. How they're paying.
Yes, it is.
Centralizing how people are going to make money and make a living doing this. Okay, everybody agrees that musicians should be fairly compensated. We just don't know how to
Yes.
do it. And that's the big thing right now.
Right.
So, but with
Yes.
and the live venue industry is changing. People think it's disappearing. I would say it's changing. And
Yeah.
touring is changing. And
Oh, yeah, definitely.
so bands like us, we don't need to tour for the same reasons as people toured before. People toured before because the label, packed you up and
That's right.
and they helped and they
You
helped
want.
they helped organize you to go sell the record and to create a mobile business card. But now
Mm-hmm.
you don't, in order for your record label to expose you, we used to pay for exposure. Artists get
Oh, yes.
paid in artists get paid in exposure. But
Exactly.
you don't need to drive across country to expose yourself. Now you can
No.
fall down the stairs and put it on TikTok and expose yourself to millions of people. So I mean,
You're right.
it's not about what you're doing; it's about why you're doing it. And if an
Exactly.
artist knows why they're making music and what the plan is with their music, then this will never really be difficult as far as like thinking and coming up with new ways to adjust, because now more than ever coming up we are going to have more ability to communicate and reach our fan base and get paid doing what we love to do without as many middlemen. never in
Wow.
never
Yes.
in the never could you walk up to the jukebox. Elvis Presley couldn't
Mhm.
walk up to the jukebox and get paid.
No.
Think
Not
about
at
it.
all.
Jimi Hendrix couldn't
Oh,
walk up to the telephone and get paid.
not at all. It
So
is really strange how
you know,
everything has changed.
if we have a ticket discrepancy, or there's a merch reprint, or there's something going on, we don't need to go through a record label and an A&R and a DJ, and you know what I mean. If there's a problem with a VIP, or a fan's not feeling good at a show, we can take care of them directly. If we're
Exactly.
if we're having a question, or we need to get with a festival or a partner or one of our sponsors, we can call them on the phone. We don't need permission from our label, and we don't need to
Right.
wait. We don't need to wait for the laws to change. Like I
Yeah,
said, the technology moves faster than the law. So
it
we
does.
we
It
are a
really
band
does.
that's been surviving by being able to adapt as fast as the technology does.
Doing
And
a
and
great
and
job.
and that's really the big part of it. So for us, I know that was long, but we won't be playing a lot in New England, because
Good.
New England's a 6 state region that you can drive to in a day, and some change. If you wanted to, you could probably play two
Right.
shows a night. And
Okay.
we have a healthy music scene in New England. It's very competitive, and it's not great for metal, but it's great for Sepsis.
Ah,
Um,
beautiful.
we're
I'm glad.
we're we're designed to survive the change in music. We're a lot of heavy metal bands. It took them years to get onto MySpace. It took them years to think that Facebook was metal enough for them to be there. It took them years to catch on to. It took them years to catch on and to Spotify. It didn't take us years. We move quickly, and
Okay.
so that's it. Is we're a hybrid band, and I think that because the touring world has changed, we're not going to really focus on playing a ton of live shows, but playing
Gotcha.
playing the shows that prioritize our actual fan base.
If
Okay.
you are in New
Okay.
England, though, we do have a show coming up,
Yes, we got
which
a
is,
banger coming up next
yeah,
week.
Is that
that's
January
January
13th?
13th. Yeah, that's going to be at
Music
Toad's
video.
Place.
Oh, that's going to be a cool
Yeah.
time. I
Yes, it's
wish I
at the
could be.
legendary Toad's Place. It's 2 stages. There's 20 bands. It's Opus's
Oh,
birthday. He plays with Earth and a whole bunch of other bands around here. Opus has been around for quite some time in the scene. I mean, honestly, in our 6 state region, um, I don't know how they haven't become world renowned or known at the tip of the tongue,
For real.
because when you think about successful bands, most people post about it in a Facebook post, but can't really name any they've ever gone to see. If you ask people
Right.
to name 5 local bands in their state, they usually can't. People will say support. People will say support local. Or if you talk about female fronted bands, they'll act or behave like there's just hundreds of them. But you can't
They don't
search for
know
them.
one.
You can't search for them on Google. You can't, and no, none of your friends ever know of them. There's only a couple of people in the music industry, and people
Oh, that's
can't
too
name
funny.
past about 20 of them. Not even
Right.
Google.
This is true.
Not
Right.
even Google.
I-
Google can't name 200 metal bands. They can't do
That's
it.
Neither can
um.
AI.
Right, neither can
Neither can
AI. Yeah, all the stuff,
that's
all the
funny.
lasers and all the podcasts and all the Spotifys and everything we
All
got.
this
Woo.
technology we got.
Right,
Oh,
right. You can't even look it up.
that's what.
But
That's why I bring you powerhouse women on the show here because you need to be heard, seen. Hmm.
that. And really, that's how we've been. That's how we've been surviving. If it wasn't for regular human beings and people that actually like our music and have a general interest, we set it off in the beginning that we were never going to try to be those bands that want to try to like piggyback off of somebody's success or try to convert other people's fans into our fans. If we shook off some residual or we play with another band or we open up for somebody and we happen to
Hmm.
sympathetically um, get some of that residual love, then it's a
Oh
pleasure.
yeah.
It's a pleasure, and we look at it as an act of generosity. But that's why we headline all the time, and we're never opening up because everybody wants us to headline the show. So very rarely do we get to open up for other bands.
We
So
would love to open up.
but what we've learned, what we've learned from that, yeah, Melissa's right. Melissa's right. We would love to open up, but there's a blessing in that too, and that's that people see us as responsible, and you know what? The most responsible people get to make the rules.
Yes, they do. Now, I've got 3 questions I want to get from you, and they're simple questions, quick answers on these because we're kind of running out of time here a little bit. But this first one here, it's a general question. Now, you get to pick 2 people, anybody in the world. Who would you want to step on the stage with and play with?
Oh gosh. Wow.
You said this was a simple answer.
Right.
Well, yeah, I was supposed to be.
For me, I'm gonna go with the typical answer here because everyone expects this from me, but it's just the truth. It's Evanescence. I would just fall flat on my face to do something
You
like
forget the
that.
words.
I mean,
You forget the
Yeah, I
lyrics.
I don't know. I would be somewhere else that day for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh
Nothing
man.
for me.
Melissa's already played with all type of people from like Puddle of Mud and Static X and Megadeth and all kinds of different people, and you've never been starstruck.
But she is my idol. I would definitely be starstruck.
That would
Wow.
Definitely.
Wow. This is the
Woo,
first,
now,
this is a Melissa Wolf first.
wow, I love it. I'm glad we got it here on air. All right. Now, who would you like to play next to you or with?
Oh man. Jeez, there really are so many.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to play with I would just love to sit down and play, rip out some solos with Alex Skolnick from Testament. Or
Ooh.
it would have been awesome to get some lessons from the late great Prince.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so late to the game on
Can
Prince.
we include people that aren't alive?
Kravitz.
Yeah, yes, you can throw
Kravitz.
some
I'm gonna
people
throw
that
Kravitz
passed,
out there.
yes.
I think Kravitz is awesome because I would love, as a businessman, as a young black man and businessman myself, I would love to just sit and learn and be a student, and I would love to just be a fly on the wall and watch the enormous business mind of Lenny Kravitz and
Oh,
how
man.
how at 60 years old he tours by himself, dude.
Exactly.
Please go look. I mean, if anybody, I couldn't tell you a Lenny Kravitz. I only knew I know all the songs that everybody else knows, but But seriously, if you ever get a chance to go look at this guy's social media, look at
I believe
how
it.
he's working, his
Oh
work,
man.
his brand, his guitar collection, to the way he
Mm,
dresses himself. Everything about his presentation is the epitome of what, as a little boy, I thought being a showman was, and being a great guitar player and a great
awesome.
stage presence, and
Uh,
humble and kind and generous, and just all the things you really want in a great role model.
Another
yeah.
one for me would definitely be Disturbed.
Yeah,
Sure.
That
Yeah.
would
that'd
be
be
so
cool.
cool to do like a duet or
I feel like
something.
anybody that we could share the stage with, it would have to be somebody that we're learning from, or
Yeah.
something that we can grow from. I feel like
There
that's
you
the
go.
only way to truly. I just want to
Mm,
be a student somehow.
Mm.
Wow. All right. Another question here. When you're performing, you get on stage, you get geared up, you start your first song, the people are starting to groove, move, mosh, starting to sing your songs a little bit. It bounces back to your heart. How's it make it in your heart feel, each of you?
For me, that is just so heartwarming that they would even take the time to memorize the lyrics like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to believe it. Just being able to communicate with them in that way and share that positive energy. That is something
It's
else.
it is, and it's something you never lose or forget. You
It's
always have it.
electrifying.
It is. It's
I,
beautiful. I never forget it. Mm.
for me, I'm always like, I never think I'm that cool. You know, I never think my riffs are that good. I never think my ideas. I never think I'm that cool where anyone's gonna know my bop, where anyone's gonna remember my chord. So and it doesn't matter where we are. When I expect the further we go and people know our jingles, I really in time will be frozen. I'll go, oh my god, like somebody knows my goofy music. You know what I mean? I'm always making fun of myself. But I guess and then there's the other technical part. When a
Mhm.
lot of people know our music, it kind of makes me feel safe on stage, because I'm like, if I screwed up right now,
There
nobody
you
would
go.
punish me.
No,
You
no.
know.
And let me throw this in there, William. You're real cool in my book. Real cool.
Thanks. Hey, thanks, man.
Aww.
Thanks, man.
Aww.
Thanks, man.
Melissa, you're a sweetheart. Yes, but you're dangerous too. So I got to watch out for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we are having some fun. So now I want to ask this question here. You got five-piece band, you're jamming, you're all over the stage. Have you had any embarrassing moments? Anybody fall on the drums, fall over the guitar chords, and mic hit them in the face? Anything like that?
I mean, we've had some pretty awful stuff happen to us.
Oh,
I mean, literally, we had a drummer run away
Oh, I
Jesus.
one
remember
time.
that. Oh my God. So he got stoned for the very first time.
Oh, no.
And
Because
he
he wanted to smoke with the band,
and he
so
was trying to, like, I think he was trying to, like, gain his stripes.
I don't know why he would do this right before getting on stage. Horrible idea. But
Oh, man.
And this is like a really nice place on the beach. It was a paid gig, and about 15 minutes before the gig, I'll leave his name out, but everybody goes, "Hey, where's who's he? What's he?" And one of the staff members looked out one of these big ocean plate glass windows and goes, "There he goes." And I mean, and he was hightailing it across the parking lot
with a
with a
pizza
pizza.
and fried dough.
Well, yeah, and he ran away from the show, and actually left the show. And
Oh,
our it's funny because our current drummer that we have now um has had to stand in for him.
that's
Yep.
beautiful. That's
Isn't
beautiful.
that crazy? At a twist of fate. The the
Both.
And I also had a horrible sore throat that day and I couldn't
Oh, no.
sing.
Oh, it was
So
awful.
we
Oh,
had our legendary celebrity merch girl get up there
Yeah.
and sing for
It
me.
was, I mean, it was spectacular.
She did so awesome. It was
Good for
great.
you guys. You never know what's gonna go down, do you?
Oh man.
That's
It was
funny.
just a little show.
Right.
Anyway,
Now it was,
you
it
know.
was, it really was. But
It was. Well, we're kind of running out of time here. We still have so much to talk about, so I'm going to probably do a part 2 with you here very soon because we've got a
okay,
lot.
we'll come
'Cause you,
back.
yeah, you guys are doing your own. You have your own like podcast type show that you do, don't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, we have two. We have a live stream on Sunday called Swarm TV.
That's the one I do.
That's the one that
Yep.
Melissa does, and then there's my Wednesday
What the
podcast, The Honeycomb Hideout.
Honeycomb Hideout?
Swarm TV is kind of like the sepsis news.
Yeah. Now I checked
Right.
out the Honeycomb there, and there was something you were talking about, William. And I don't know if Melissa heard what you were talking about. And I don't even know if I dare bring it up.
Well, nobody ever knows what I'm talking about. I've noticed, like, as I'm like,
I knew what you were talking about. I was
you
like,
might know, but nobody else does. You know.
right. Well, can I bring it up? Do I dare? It had to deal
Sure.
with
No, you
robots.
can.
It had to deal with robots.
Oh yeah. That's a big industry.
So would you do that? Would you a robot?
So you're the second person that really asked me that. I don't want to ruin it. I don't. It's funny. I don't want to ruin it now.
You're right.
So the truth is, okay, about the Honeycomb Hideout. The truth is, and I'll let everybody know, it is an authentic show, but for sure we storyboard it. And secondly, it is an entertainment based show. It is me. That is my real personality. However, it might be a little amplified. It might be.
Eccentric.
I might be a little overexcited on the program. I'm
little
a very
twist.
excitable person. I don't want to disappoint anybody, but the truth is, I'm not as exciting as I come off in the podcast. And don't tell anybody, but I would not fuck a robot. I really wouldn't.
No,
I would.
we'll leave that.
But I said that because I knew people would like it. I know people, and I knew that nobody would admit to doing a robot unless I admitted it first.
And you did.
Yeah.
I love it, brother. I love it. Melissa and William, thank you so much for coming on the No Cover TV podcast today. We have more to talk about, a lot more. So I want to get you back on the show soon, possibly 6 months. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you, Al, for real.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you. And keep doing what you're doing. Keep supporting that music and getting it out and doing it your way. That's the only way to do it. You're doing a great job. Great job.
Thank you so much.
You need anything from me? I'm 24/7 open. Just give me a holler. I'll get you the answers.
Thank you, Al.
You got
Not
it.
a problem. All right, you take care. We're going to talk soon. Everybody on podcast land, check out Sepsiss on the platform, sepsiss.com. They are blowing up the world. Oh, yes, they are. We're going to talk to you soon. You have a good one, all right? Well, take care, Melissa.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Stay, everybody. Peace. No Cover TV. We're out of here.